Alright, so it's highly requested since I wasn't planning on making this just yet, but I think a lot of people would really like to know this by now. But this is for working with imports and using Brawl animations, or I'm also going to show how to fix importing animations for characters. So I'll start with that first, using a Ninetales model. That's Blaze. This one. Alright, this is the imported Ninetales from Poke Parkway and animations. So to fix something like this, go to the animation, set all three of these unknowns to 0, and then just give it any frame length. So when you preview the model, you can actually see the animation form now. And all it is from there is just cutting out the extra frames that you don't need through the bone animation down here. You can see you can just watch it until eventually the numbers stop completely for that bone. This one stops somewhere around 130 frames sooner. It stops at 105, so you just set the animation frame length to 105. Then to export it, just rename it to anything really. Then you can export the animation and use it for whatever you want. Now I'm gonna go on to the issue with the renaming imported characters, which I'll be using on Blaze. You can see, just trying to rename this to top N, and it's going to do it for every bone. When you rename it and try to save, it's going to say that. So it's not going to work at all. But an easy way to fix that for animations for models that won't be renamed, you can, actually just found this out when I was putting Hitmonlee over Little Mac for this tutorials. And that's in this one. For this, I put Shadow from Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games over Lucas. And actually, if you import the animation, if you import the model itself, once you import it, you can rename the bones from there on. From here, you can see I went as far as the toes, but it's simple, just renaming anything from there on. And they'll actually save. So this, I haven't tested it yet, but it should at least allow imports that couldn't be renamed normally to be renamed just by replacing it first. And now I'm going to go on to imports with animations. This is one I finished. Has no textures though right now. But I actually have this imported on Sheik, and it only takes up one slot since this Kino model matches Sheik's bones perfectly. And there, like it should do, the model gets completely and totally thrown off. But that's because I mentioned in one of my earlier animation tutorials that Brawl is weird with bone rotations. I can show you here now actually. But for Brawl models, their right leg J, this bone is always set to negative 180, and you can see this is at negative 182. So if this were to be changed to Brawl standards, this would be 0. And then that's one of the animations she's following. Her leg is her leg thinks it's supposed to be like that during the animation, or at least the model is. This can be fixed by either fixing the animation, like for here, for example. Actually, go to a different one. This one, it's at negative 31 because her leg is naturally negative 180. You'd have to subtract 180 from that. So I'll fix the translations for it. And then that's what will happen from the bone rotations being off completely. So now with fixed translations, it's one for here, for example, adding 180 to that rotation, and now it's rotated the right way, but the rotations are also completely thrown off in most of the bone animations. So that's actually the problem with animating imports. It's simple enough to give them animations, but it's more of a challenge of having to go through every single bone, just adding or subtracting numbers from different rotations. Like here, all those Z rotations have to have minus 180 to add it to them. And the same goes for various other bones as well. That's pretty much it for imports and animations. Nothing really more to it than that. It's not that hard, just very time consuming. So I hope this helps everybody out who love their imports and everything. Things like this can be fixed through animations, or if someone has enough patience to, they can probably vertex the model to look completely normal. That's all for this tutorial. Like, feel free to suggest any other animation tutorials, though I don't think there's really a whole lot to cover at this point with everything I've explained. So, good luck on and happy animating.